So obviously we could go all day on why this team deserves to be in, but I'll ask you this, and then we'll get into picks for the week. Who would you say is the conference that has the best chance to get 2 teams in the playoffs?
Right now, I think it has to be the ACC. You could argue the SEC with Alabama, and then you say Florida, they beat Georgia later on, make it to the SEC championship. They would have to win. Whereas a team like Notre Dame could lose one game in the regular season and maybe beat Clemson, or North Carolina can win out, and beat Clemson in the ACC championship. I think in terms of path to the playoff, I think ACC has the better advantage of having 2 teams in, just in terms of who they have to play week in, week out, and how the schedules are aligned. But for the SEC, I think they do have the better teams right now overall. Texas A&M, Georgia, Florida, Bama, of course. But all those teams right there are going to have to play each other, and 3 of those teams will have to play each other, vice versa. Alabama and Florida don't play, but they play Georgia and Texas A&M, and they've won both of those games. So I think the ACC has the easiest path to getting 2 teams in.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think in terms of who would be the better opponent to throw in the playoffs, I would say the second ACC team would be. But I think if you have to break it down to who can be which conference, to answer my question, which conference has the best chance of getting 2 teams in, I think it has to be the Big Ten, because you could have a scenario where both teams in the conference championship are undefeated. You have Wisconsin, Minnesota, I'll throw in Nebraska, who could finish that season undefeated. And then on the other side, you have Ohio State and Penn State, who could finish that season undefeated. So for that reason, I would say, because you're looking at, unless Alabama or Clemson lose, you're looking at a 2-loss SEC runner-up, a 2-loss ACC runner-up, and then a potential 1-loss Big Ten runner-up. So I think for that reason, you're looking at the Big Ten runner-up's only loss being to the Big Ten champion. Now, we're saying where the 2-loss Georgia team could be their only losses are to Alabama, or a scenario where Notre Dame's only 2 losses are to the ACC champion. Nonetheless, I think for the reason that you could have both sides of the Big Ten Conference go undefeated, make it to the championship undefeated, I think for that reason they would have the upper hand in getting 2 teams into the playoffs.